This bed that I'm in feels too big without you. Don't know.
What's up, Mane Jess Fam? It's your girl Jess back once again with another video. Today, guys, I'll be teaching y'all how to make aloe vera conditioner, aloe vera oil, something that I had in my wash day. If you didn't watch that video already, go ahead and watch it. It really shows you how I do my wash day, and I use both my aloe vera treatment and my aloe vera oil in that video, so you'll see how I use it. But today I'm going to teach you guys how to make it. But before we get into the video, if you're new to me and Jess Fam and you ain't never been here before, we're gonna give you a few seconds to subscribe because sweetie, the Mane Jess Fam is where it's at. And after you've already done that, there's a little bell on the side of the subscription box. You go ahead and click that, and that's gonna tell you every time we post a new video over here. And because we know you love our energy already, you know you love the content that you've seen or you're about to see, you can go ahead and like the video as well, because it is not going to cost you a thing. And now the protocol has already been established, let's get into this video. So you guys, I've been using aloe vera for probably like 3 or 4 months now, and I can really say that I notice a difference in my hair. Overall moisture, overall strengthening. I feel like it strengthens my hair and has done good with like the amount of breakage I used to have. But I found a few good ways to describe the benefits online, and I could truly say that all of these things have been found in aloe vera since I've been using it. So first of all, it says that it promotes hair growth. I think that's true. It helps to balance the scalp's pH. It also helps to retain water and moisture in your hair, and I could say that's true. It's like a humectant, just like how honey helps to like draw moisture from the air and like help you to maintain the moisture in your hair. I think aloe does the same thing. From my experience, I can say that it has reduced my dry scalp and like not really dandruff, because I think dandruff is a fungus, but I'm just gonna say like itchy scalp, I guess flakes. It has reduced that, because I had an issue with that quite some time now, and I noticed that when I do my treatments and I like spray the aloe directly on my hair, because that sits for a while, I really don't have an issue with dandruff like I used to. So I would definitely recommend, if you have an issue with dry scalp dandruff, to give that a try, because I think that's something that's worked for me as well, besides oiling throughout the weeks of my hair being done. I think the aloe has helped a lot. It also says that it nourishes and strengthens your hair, and like I said before, on my wash day, I think that aloe is a good protein treatment. And it really like strengthens my hair. Like I don't really have as much breakage. That's one of the benefits that I've seen. Like I've said before, it can alleviate itching and dryness in your scalp, and it conditions the scalp. So my scalp don't really be as dry as it used to. Even after I treat it with the aloe, the following weeks I will continue to use the aloe vera oil, and I could say I don't have dandruff like how I used to. Like the dry scalp, the flaking, it's been cut down tremendously. Yeah, so I would say give it a try. But yeah, this video is just going to teach you guys how I make it, and I hope that it's beneficial to you. So keep watching. So for starters, I used a blender. I also used a small knife. It just makes things much more manageable. I also used a spoon, and you're gonna see later on how I used that. My ingredients, I used extra virgin olive oil. I also used some honey. It's a good humectant. It helps to pull moisture from the air, so I used a little honey. Yeah, so hair, I didn't show where I cut off the thorns. Please excuse me, but that's the first thing I did, was cut off the thorns off of the aloe. If you notice, I have wax paper on top of my cutting board because aloe bleeds and it can stain, so I didn't want it to stain up the cutting board. And be careful with it on your clothes. So if you see here, I just cut the aloe open and I began scooping it out with a spoon. It's easier to scoop it out with a spoon than to use a knife. When I first started doing this, I would use a knife, but I really don't see the need in that anymore, because the spoon is just so much easier to manage. And also, I would recommend using a glass bowl over a plastic bowl because, like I said before, aloe stains and it can stain your plastic bowl. So I go ahead, after I've already scooped out all of the aloe out of my aloe plants, I go ahead and I pour that into the blender. If you don't have a blender, I would recommend using a fork to just try and, I guess, get the aloe as smooth as possible. I like using a blender because it makes it almost liquidy, and so I don't have to worry about trying to, I guess, rub it into my hair or get the pulp to get into my hair. It's easier because it's a liquid. I go ahead and I use some honey and some olive oil. I really don't measure how much I use, but I just wing it, I guess. Honey and olive oil. You could use any oil that you want, but I just use olive oil because that's what I had on hand. And I go ahead and I blend that all up until it's as liquidy as possible. I like it to be smooth. I don't like it to be like chunky because it makes it harder to distribute throughout the strands of your hair. And so for me, doing it this way is much easier. I used to just cut open the aloe and just rub the aloe from the plant straight onto my hair, but I thought this way was much easier once I started doing it, and it makes things much more manageable. So once that's all blended up, I just use this old honey manuka treatment bottle container rather, and I just pour all of that into the container, and I marked aloe on it so that I know what it was, and I put it in the fridge because I would be using it the next day. So now, if you notice, I didn't throw away any of the aloe skins. I kept them because this is what I'm going to be using to make my oil. And I used a little bit of hemp oil, a little bit of olive oil, actually virgin olive oil, and a little coconut oil, virgin coconut oil. And then it's just this bottle that I had. All the oil was gone, so I just used that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm really only coating the pan with these oils, really. Because it's the aloe oil that I want to pull from the aloe plant. So I just need to coat the pan so that the aloe skins do not burn or stick. That's really only the purpose for this oil. Sorry for the ghetto-ness. I just raised up my shirt to open the container. I got to do better. But I scooped out some coconut oil in there too. So that's olive oil, hemp oil, coconut oil. You really can use whatever oil you have. You have lavender oil, any essential oils, castor oil, whatever you want to use, you can use it. But these are just the ones I had on hand. And I like to keep my castor oil for just castor oil. I don't really use it as mixing. And I go ahead and put all of those aloe skins inside of the pan. Go ahead and do that. And I keep right down to the thorns because all of that has, you don't really get all of the aloe pulp out of the plant. And so that's what we make to use the oil basically. I go ahead and I just take off all of the wax paper, and I'm saving the wax paper, so don't throw it away. If you have parchment paper, you could use that too, or if you just want to use a plastic bag, just keep that because you're going to need it. Whatever you use on top of your cutting board, you're going to need it. And if you notice here, I'm turning the aloe plant down. That's what I'm continuing to do, turning it to where the pulp was, so the skin would be facing the ceiling, the outer skin, and then the inner part where the pulp was would be into the oil. And that's what's really pulling the aloe oil out of the aloe. You have to put it where the pulp was. You have to put that in the oil. So it's almost like the heat and the oil is helping to pull all of that extra pulp out, and that's what makes your oil. This froth that you see at the top is what the aloe is, and that's what I'm showing you right now. So now keep in mind, I didn't make the pan too hot. It's just bubbling like that because, I mean, it still is hot, but I don't make it so hot where it's like steaming or like you could see black stuff coming up. I really just make it hot enough for it to pull from the plant because you don't want to kill the nutrients if you make the pan too hot. And I go ahead and I just use tongs and I just take out the skin like that. And I remember I said don't throw away your wax paper. I just put the aloe skins on top of the wax paper, and I try to use this time to make sure that all of the oil is off of the skin. Obviously some is going to be left on the skin, but I don't want to waste any, so just trying to strain that off. I go ahead and I make sure that all of the skins are out of the pot, every last one, because when I drain this into the bottle now. I do not want any skins to go into my oil bottle. So I've already taken out, gee, all of the skins. Some little fragments still in there, but that don't really bother me. And I go ahead and I put that inside a measuring cup. Pretty big one, a glass one. I wait for the oil to cool down for about 5 minutes, and then I go ahead with a funnel and I just poured all of that oil inside of my container. And if you notice, when I'm done, there's going to be a little bit of oil left, but that's because I was sharing with someone else that wanted to do something right in that moment. But yeah, that's what I do, guys. That's how I make my aloe oil. Okay, Mane Jess Fam, so now that y'all already watched the video, I made a few notes just to recap for y'all. So number one, remember that aloe bleeds. Aloe bleeds. When you first cut the aloe plant, you're gonna see this like draining of the aloe juice, right? After a while, it turns purple. Aloe bleeds. That's just the way we say it in the Bahamas. Aloe bleeds. That can stain. So if you're using a plastic cutting board, put wax paper on top of it, parchment paper. You could put foil. You could put a plastic bag. You just need something on top of that. I wouldn't use like hand towel or something because it's gonna cut easy. When you cut on top of it, it's gonna tear easy. But use something on top of it so you don't stain up your mommy cutting board, please. Yeah, especially if it's plastic or wood. You don't want to stain the board like that. Try not to get it on your clothes because, like I said, it stains. I've stained my clothes with it before. Use a fork if you don't have a blender. I have used a fork once or twice in doing it. It is a lot more work, but you can use a fork if you don't have a blender to really like press it, smooth it out, to get it as like smooth as possible. Use a fork. So no excuses. I don't want to hear no, oh, I can't do it because I have no blender. Use a fork. Thank you. You could use any oils you have. No excuses, please. That's just the ones that I had. And I really truthfully use any oil that I have. It's just that that's the ones that I had that day. So any oils you have, you could use in the conditioner. Any oils you have, you could use to make the oil to coat your pan, right? I also recommend using a spray bottle when you're putting on the conditioner because it's so liquidy. It's not like a cream conditioner or treatment. It's very like, it's just like water you put it on your head. So use a spray bottle so that you don't really get it all over yourself. It's hard to scoop it up. I've used it in my hand scooping. I've used a spray bottle. I recommend a spray bottle. It's gonna make stuff so much easier for you. I also recommend putting a towel on the ground when you're putting this on your head because even though you're using your spray bottle, sometimes it is drained. And it's not gonna really stain the floor, but it's just a lot of cleanup, you know? So putting a towel down, like underneath you as you spraying it on, it's gonna help you cut down wash day cleanup so much easier. So don't not use a towel. Put a towel down, put something down, a big sheet, and then you can just throw in the washer. It's gonna save you a lot of cleanup time. And then finally, guys, remember, if you're not gonna use the aloe conditioner that same day, you should put it in the fridge, right? I had it out for maybe one time, like for more than 24 hours without being in the fridge, and it started to separate, and I don't know if it spoils like that, so I wouldn't recommend not refrigerating it if you're not going to use it within the same day. Refrigerate it. The oil is going to be fine wherever you put it, but the conditioner, I recommend refrigerating it. That's all I have for you guys today. I really hope and pray that you guys enjoyed this video, that you get to see the benefits of aloe. Comment down below if you ever used aloe before, if you would use it, or if anything I did wasn't clear enough. Please go ahead, leave that down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, guys. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment anything if I left it out, and don't forget to come back because we love you over here. Bye, guys.
Those green eyes, sweet lips, your hands.